Hey there, welcome everybody. We're back with our 2016 Mets replay. We are in Citi Field in Flushing, Queens, New York. And this is game two of a four-game Subway Series between the Yankees and the Mets. This game is being played at Citi Field, and then we move over to the Bronx and play it at Yankee Stadium. In the first game, which was August 1st, you can see here that it was a 4-4 tie going into the top of the eighth inning when Chase Headley hit a two-run bomb off of reliever Hansel Robles, who got the loss, and the Yankees won it by a score of 6-4. The Yankees scored 6 runs on 11 hits and 4 errors, while the Mets had 4 runs on 6 hits and 0 errors. So we'll fix that. We'll tidy that up a little bit there. Oh, there you go. All right, so that's the deal. And in this game, it's going to be Jacob Grom for the Mets. He was 7-8 with a 3.04 ERA against Masahiro Tanaka, who was 14-4 with a 3.07 ERA. So almost identical ERAs for both starting pitchers. And we're ready to start. It's going to be Jacob Grom. He's going to face Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Mark Teixeira. 2016, game 106 of our Mets replay. Here goes. And it's a 4-4 off the Grom's card. A 4-4 is a fly ball center field. That's going to be De Aza. And that's one away. So Gardner's out. That's a 5-6 again off the Grom's card, and that's a ground ball right at the shortstop. Right at the shortstop, 18. Shortstop's a 2, and that's a ball that Cabrera fields cleanly and over to first. 2 away. And next is going to be Mark Teixeira. And it's 4-6. And that's a walk ball 4 for Teixeira. The catcher now, Brian McCann. McCann batted .242 with 20 home runs. That's a 5-5. And that's a strikeout. So McCann down on strikes for the third out. And we go to the bottom of the first. No score. Mets coming to bat. And it's going to be De Aza. Alejandro De Aza. That's a 2-5, and that's going to be a split die. 9, and that's 2-5. And that's lined in the gap, and it's run down by the center fielder Ellsbury. Going into second, standing up is De Aza with a stand-up double. Leadoff double for Alejandro De Aza. And it's going to be Neil Walker. Say 4-3. It's a fly ball right field. X, our right fielder, is Hicks. He's a 2. And that's a 9. And that's going to drop in there. And that's going to be a double for Walker. So an RBI double for Neil Walker puts the Mets up 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Next is Jay Bruce batting third today. Cespedes is not in the lineup. And it's 2-11. 2-11. That's a ground ball right at the third baseman. And that's a ground ball. B, batter is out. Runners hold. 1 away. We have Walker on at second base. One out, and it's James Loney, the first baseman for the Mets. Say 3-2. And that ball is lined, caught by the first baseman, Teixeira. And Flores up next, Wilmer Flores. (3-7), and that's a fly ball lifted to left. Over is Gardner, makes the catch. But the Yanks get one run on two. I'm sorry, the Mets get one run on 2 hits here in the bottom of the first. Top of the second, it's going to be Gregorius, Castro, and Headley for the Yanks. (3-5), and that's a ground ball right at the second baseman. That's Walker, and throws him out for out number 1. Castro next. (1-4), and that's a pop-up to the left side. Cabrera calling for it. No, it's Reynolds today. Reynolds is playing short, and Reynolds makes the catch. 2 away. So Cespedes and Cabrera out of the lineup. 6-10. That's going to be off of the Grom. That's a catcher's card. That's a 9. Our catcher is a 3. That's a pop-up. And Darno waits for it. Out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for DeGrom here in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. And it's going to be Conforto, Darno, and Reynolds. It's 3-7, and that's a ground ball right at the third baseman, Headley. Oh, to first, 1 away. Next is Travis d'Arnaud. To a ground ball again to Headley. Over to first. 2 away. Back-to-back ground balls to the third baseman. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Mets. And it's a 5-9. A 5-9 is a strikeout. So Reynolds down on strikes. For the third out, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the third. 1-0 Mets. In the top of the third is going to be Hicks, Tanaka, and Gardner. Say 2-7, and that's a line drive caught by the second baseman. Beautiful catch by Walker. Out number 1. Masahiro Tanaka. Pitcher batting card number 1. Boy, I'm clumsy. All right. There we go. Put everything back in its place. Tidy it up a bit. There we go. Here's Tanaka. It's 4-10. And that's going to be a fly ball lifted to center. Shallow center field. In comes Ellsbury. I'm sorry. In comes the center fielder for the Mets. De Aza makes the catch. And it's Brett Gardner. He flied out in his first at bat. And it's 3-11, and that's a pop-up to the right side. Second baseman Walker, he's right there, waits. Out number 3, we go to bottom of the third. 1-0 Mets. Leading it off is going to be the pitcher, DeGrom. 2-7. And that's popped up to the left side. Castro. 1 away. (4-9). Off of Tanaka. 4-9 is going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for De Aza. 2 outs. And then Neil Walker. That's 3-11, and that's a ground ball right at Castro. And that's out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the 3rd. And it's the top of the 4th. Ellsbury, Teixeira, and McCann for the Yanks against Jacob deGrom. 6-6. That's a strikeout. Ellsbury down on strikes. 1 away. Mark Teixeira, known as Tex. It's the pitch. 6-3 off the Grom, and that's a ground ball shortstop. Our shortstop is a 2, and that's a 17. And that is an out. So Cabrera makes a nice play. And it's Brian McCann, lefty hitting catcher that the Yankees acquired from Atlanta, signed him to a 5-year deal. 2-6. And that's a swing and a miss. Down on strikes is McCann. That's the 3rd strikeout for deGrom. And we go to bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Mets. We're playing the Subway Series between the Yanks and the Mets here in 2016, August 2nd, game 102. It's Masahiro Tanaka versus Jacob deGrom. Tanaka's going to face Bruce, Loney, and Flores here in the bottom of the 4th. That's a 4-8. A 4-8 is a fly ball lifted to right field. Hicks over. 1 away. So Jay Bruce is 0 for 2. James Loney now, he lined out to the first baseman. Here's the pitch from Tanaka. It's a 1-6. That's a hard hit ground ball right at the shortstop, Gregorius. Across the diamond. 2 away. And Wilmer Flores with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. It's a 1-0 Met lead. 5-12. And that's a ground ball right at Castro for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 5th, 1-0 Mets. So deGrom's retired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row. And he's going to be facing Gregorius, Castro, and Headley. Gregorius batted .276 with 20 home runs. Tremendous shortstop. He replaced Derek Jeter as the Yankee shortstop after Jeter retired. So pretty big shoes to fill, wouldn't you say? 1-9. It's a fly ball lifted to right field. And that's Bruce. This is Bruce's first game, with the Mets, acquired from the Cincinnati Reds, I believe. So Bruce is in right field for the Mets. And it's going to be Starlin Castro. Here's the pitch. 6-3 from deGrom. 6-3 is a ground ball shortstop. Cabrera picks it up cleanly and over to first for out number 2. And it's Chase Headley. Chase Headley won yesterday's ball game, or the first game of the series, with a 2-run home run in the top of the 8th inning. It's 2-12. 2-12 is a ground ball right to the first baseman, Loney. 3 unassisted for out number 3. So that's all for 4.5 innings of play. It's 1-0 Mets. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's going to be Conforto, d'Arnaud, and Reynolds. Now, deGrom's retired 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 in a row. He's only allowed a walk so far in this game in 5 innings. And it's going to be Michael Conforto. That's a 5-9 from Tanaka, and that's a strikeout. One away. Travis d'Arnaud, 3-7. And that's a line drive base hit for Travis d'Arnaud. So d'Arnaud is on at first now. It's going to be Matt Reynolds. Got excited. Everything went flying. Matt Reynolds. Matt Reynolds had a 225 with 3 home runs. It's a 6-8. A 6-8 is a strikeout. Swing and a miss for out number 2. And it's Jacob deGrom now for the Mets. That's a 2-9. 2-9. That's a fly ball lifted to right. Right fielder Hicks over and makes the catch. So the Mets lead 1. We go to the top of the 6th, 1-0 Mets. In the top of the 6th is going to be Hicks, Tanaka, and Gardner against Jacob deGrom. .310 against Hicks. And that's going to be a split die. That's lined into the gap. And that's going to roll to the wall, hustling around first and going to second. Here's the throw. Safe under the tag. So Hicks, leadoff double, breaking up the 5 innings of no-hit ball by Jacob deGrom. And Tanaka is going to attempt a bunt. And that's a successful bunt. Over to third, excuse me, goes Hicks. So Hicks is on third. The infield is going to be in for Gardner now. So 1-8. That's a strikeout. Gardner down on strikes. Huge strikeout. 2 outs now. Oh. And it's going to be Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 outs and the tying run on at third base. Here's the pitch to Ellsbury. And it's 6-6 off. And that's a swing and a miss. Ellsbury down on strikes. So that's strikeout number 4 and 5 to get out of that tough inning. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. 1-0 Mets. It's going to be De Aza leading it off against Tanaka. And it's 2-8. That's a walk, ball 4. So De Aza on at first. It's going to be Neil Walker. It's a 3-10. And that's ball 4. So back-to-back walks by Tanaka here in the bottom of the 6th. And it's going to be Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce just recently acquired, first game with the Mets. Here's the pitch to Bruce. It's going to be a 6-7. And that's going to be lined and base hit. De Aza will stop at third, so the bases are now loaded. Bases are now loaded. And it looks like the Yanks are going to bring in a relief pitcher. They're calling to the bullpen. You got Swarzak and Blyer out there against Loney. We're going to get Blyer in the game. Should have Blyer on this team. Let's see. It may not be available. May not be available on the Yankees. Let's see. Blyer had a pretty good season. Got Ackley, Billy Butler, Betances. Don't know that we have. We have Swarzak. Don't know that we have Blyer. Blyer did not pitch all that much. So I don't know that we have Blyer. Well, Blyer had quite a good season, so we can pull a card for him. He had a very low ERA, so he was very effective. So let me get going to my blank strat cards here. Pitching record. Overall effectiveness, no. Blyer had good overall effectiveness. Of average to good. Good. He had good. Okay. So I found a card that could work for us. Average to good. ERA good. Okay. So we're going to go with this one. Let's see if we can create a name for Blyer here real quickly. On a post-it. I do it on a post-it. And I just stick it on top. So Richard Blyer, and I get my scissor and I cut out his name and I just stick it to the card temporarily in case I have to use that card in the future. And boom, Richard Blyer is playing in the game now, just like real life. So Richard Blyer comes in, the lefty, to face Loney, the lefty, with the bases loaded and the infield drawn in for the Yanks. A base hit here could give the Mets some security. 5-7, so it's a 5-7. That's a strikeout. So Blyer strikes out Loney for out number 1. Okay, he's going to face the righty now. We're going to go to Anthony Swarzak, a righty that's going to face Flores. So Swarzak comes in. Okay. We are ready to roll. It's going to be Swarzak against the righty Wilmer Flores. Here's the pitch, and it's a 6-8. It's a fly ball center field. That's going to get a run home. That's deep enough. Here comes De Aza, and he scores. So a sacrifice fly. Oh, sacrifice fly. RBI for Flores. 2 out, and it's Michael Conforto. Here's the pitch. It's 5-4. It's a ground ball right to Castro. Steps on the bag for the force. But the Mets pick up 1 run on 2 walks and a hit and a sacrifice fly, and they lead it 2-0 going to the top of the 7th. In the top of the 7th is going to be Mark Teixeira leading it off for the Yankees. .6'9", and that's going to be off of DeGrom. 6'9". That's going to be a ball that's swung on and hit deep to center field, and back goes the Mets center field De Aza to the track, to the wall. That's gone. Home run. Mark texts Teixeira, sends one out of here, and the score is now 2-1 Mets in the top of the 7th. Solo shot for Mark Teixeira against Jacob DeGrom. This will be a 2-9. It's McCann now. A 2-9 is a swing and a miss. McCann down on strikes. number 6, and for the first out here in the top of the 7th. Didi Gregorius, 4-5. That's a strikeout. Number 7. Curve got him. 2 outs. And it's Starling Castro, 1-5. And that's a swing and a miss. So DeGrom strikes out the side after allowing the solo home run to Teixeira. And the Mets lead it 2-1. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be d'Arnaud, Reynolds, and DeGrom for the Mets against Anthony Swarzak. It's a 6-8. It's a fly ball center field. 1 away. Matt Reynolds. Reynolds is 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch to Reynolds. Anthony sets and deals. It's a 6-4. That's a catcher's card. The 7. The catcher is a 3. And that's a ball that's nubbed right in front of home plate. Up goes McCann and bobbles it, and everybody's safe. So Reynolds on an E2. And it's Jacob DeGrom now. DeGrom is going to square to bunt. Here's the pitch. And that's a successful bunt. Over to second goes Reynolds. Out number 2. And it's De Aza now against Swarzak. Anthony Swarzak was 1-2 with a 5.52 ERA. Say 3-8. De Aza, who is 1 for 2 with a walk and a double. And that's going to be a 3-8. And that's a swing and a miss. De Aza down on strikes for the 3rd out. So the Mets lead 1. And after 7 innings of play, it's Mets 2, Yankees 1. In the top of the 8th, it's going to be Headley, Hicks, and the pitcher slot. Here's the pitch from DeGrom to Headley. It's a 3-9, and that's a swing and a miss. Headley down on strikes. That's a 9th strikeout for DeGrom in this one. Hicks is up next. It's a 5-8. 5-8 is a strikeout. Curve got him. And it's going to be a pinch hitter for Tanaka. Pinch hitter for Tanaka. I'm going to have a Jason Shreve is going to pitch for the Yanks. Pinch hitter for Tanaka is going to be A-Rod. A-Rod is going to come in. Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez batted 200 with 9 home runs in his last season with the Yankees. Here's the pitch to A-Rod from DeGrom. 2-6. And that's a line drive, base hit single, pinch hit single for Alex Rodriguez. In the top of the 8th. So with 2 outs, runner on first, then it's going to be Brett Gardner. Now, Brett Gardner is an interesting combination of speed and power. Not in 2016, but he's been hitting, I think last year he hit 23 home runs, a career high. But an adept base stealer with a very good percentage, base stealing percentage. picks and chooses his spots. Doesn't run a lot, but when he does run, he's generally very successful. Brett Gardner here with A-Rod at first. There's 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Mets are up 2-1. Here's the pitch from DeGrom. Say 3-8, and that's a line caught by the first baseman, James Loney. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, 2-1 Mets. Yanks leave 1, score none. It's going to be Walker, Bruce, and Loney. And they're going to be facing Yankee pitcher Shreve, Chasen Shreve. Here's the pitch to Walker. Walker is 1 for 2 on the day. So 1-9. That's a fly ball hit deep to center field. Back goes the center fielder. Ellsbury makes a nice running catch. Walker hit that a ton, but just didn't carry. Jay Bruce. 2-10. It's a ground ball at the first baseman, Teixeira. 3 unassisted for out number 2. And James Loney now. 3-11. That's line base hit for Loney. Loney's 1 for 3 now. So Loney's on at first with 2 outs, and it's Wilmer Flores. Going to see another pitcher. Wilmer hits lefties very well, so we're going to bring in a righty now. A righty to face. It's going to be Chad Green. Chad Green to face Wilmer Flores. Here's a pitch to Wilmer Flores, who batted .267 with 16 home runs. It's 2-5. That's ball 4. So Wilmer manages a walk. First and second now with 2 outs, and it's Conforto. Michael Conforto. And it's a 4-6. 4-6. And that's going to be lined into the gap, and that's going to roll all the way to the wall. Coming around third to score is Loney, and it looks like they're going to wave Flores. And here's the throw, and he's safe. A 2-run double by Michael Conforto here in the bottom of the 8th. Puts the Mets up 4-1. And it's going to be d'Arnaud, the catcher, Travis d'Arnaud, against Chad Green. 4-9. It's a ground ball right at the second baseman, Castro. Castro is a 3. That's a 14. And he boots it. Everybody's safe. Conforto to third. d'Arnaud on an E4. And it's going to be Reynolds, Matt Reynolds, playing shortstop for the Mets today. The score is 4-1. Mets here in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch. 3-9er. 3-9 is a swing and a miss, and Reynolds down on strikes for out number 3. But the Mets pick up 2 big runs on the double by Conforto, and they leave 2 at the end of 8 innings of play. It's the Mets 4 and the Yankees zip. I'm sorry, the Yankees 1. In the top of the 9th, it's going to be Ellsbury, Tex, and McCann. We're going to bring in Juris Familia to close out the game. He is the closer extraordinaire for the Mets. 51 saves in 2016, 51 saves. See if we can find him. There he is. Juris Familia to close out the game. Comes in the 9th inning. He's going to face Ellsbury, Teixeira, and McCann. It's a 4-1 ball game. Here's the pitch to Ellsbury. Say 2-6, and that's ball 4. So Ellsbury's on at first. Mark Teixeira, who homered a solo shot in the 7th inning. Say 6-8, and that's a strikeout. Teixeira down on strikes. 1 away. Next is McCann. It's a 4-1 ball game. Top of the 9th. Mets, the Yankees have Ellsbury, on at first, and McCann with 1 out. Here's the pitch to McCann. It's a 1-6. A 1-6 is ball 4. So the tying run to the plate now in Didi Gregorius, who has 20 home runs. Here's the pitch to Didi. It's a 5-7, and that's a base hit. Bases loaded now. Bases loaded once again. Familia making it exciting. Bases loaded, 4-1 game. Tying run is at first. Here's the pitch. It's Starling Castro. Say 3-9, and that's a strikeout. Castro down on strikes. 2 outs. Bases loaded. Chase Headley against Juris Familia. Headley hit 14 home runs. He batted .253. Here's the pitch to Headley. That's a 1-8, and that's a hard-hit ground ball right at the Met third baseman, Flores, who steps on the bag. Game over. So Juris, as usual, makes it exciting by loading the bases, but he gets Headley to ground out to the third baseman, Flores, who steps on the bag for the force. And the Mets win it. The Mets improve their record. The Mets improve their record to 57-49. And thanks for watching. That's the Mets pull it out in the game 2 of the Subway Series by a score of 4-1. Yankees leave the bases loaded in the top of the 9th inning. The Yanks got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and they made 1 error. The Mets had 4 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits, and the Mets made no errors. And that's all she wrote. Thanks for stopping by and checking it out, and I hope you enjoyed our replay of the 2016 Subway Series between the Mets and the Yanks at Citi Field. Now we go to the Bronx and we play at Yankee Stadium. Take care.